All right, everybody, good morning. Might not be morning by the time you see this video. We're going to title this video, Handpicked for Salvation. Handpicked for Salvation. How many of y'all ever been handpicked for salvation? Just one day out of the sky blue. Just one day out of the random sky blue. It just happened. Just one day, on a random day when you thought nothing of this. You didn't think anything about coming to God. In fact, you tried to get saved so many times, it just never worked. You tried to go through with, trying to turn your life around, and it just never worked. The only thing that worked is when God came and got you. Handpicked for salvation. That's a big deal. And I never really realized how big of a deal that was as early on. Man, but as time go by, I really start thinking a little bit deeper about that, man. Handpicked for salvation. It's a hard life for those people, man. A hard life for that, because you were chosen for a purpose. Everybody talk about chosen ones. Everybody got another, a whole different meaning to what being a chosen one is. If a chosen one is anything in the world, I truthfully believe that that's what it is. Everybody make it sound like if everybody misunderstand you and you don't have any friends, then you're a chosen one. Or if you keep the law of Moses, then you're a chosen one. Man, see, a chosen individual, they understand stuff that other people don't. They see things that other people don't see. They get downloads of information from the Most High that other people don't get. And it ain't nothing to be proud about, because to whom much is given, much is required. And that ain't easy. That's not easy. Your convictions are much more harder than everybody else's convictions. And that don't mean you ain't gonna have some holes in you somewhere that need to be filled up. I mean, think it not strange, you still got to be worked on like everybody else. You still got to run a race like everybody else. You still got to strive to enter in through the straight gate like everybody else. Man, I thought something was sounding like it's wrong with my car, but I mean, it's a 07, so heck, it's about time for some work to be done. But oh God, please, like, I can't afford this right now. But you can't just live your life the way you want to live your life. And I don't mean like you can't just, live in sin like everybody else. Like, this ain't a matter of sin as far as what I'm talking about. Like, you can't do what you want to do with your life. That goes for jobs, anything. I can't do what I want to do with my life. Nothing but what God wants out of my life is going to work for me. I had some financial setbacks after becoming self-employed, and everybody kept telling me, you need to go get a regular job. You need to go get a regular job. You need to go get a regular job. And I kept telling them I tried to do that. God told me that I can't. And even after God told me that I can't, it just made total sense that I got a regular job. Like, it just made total sense. I'm like, maybe God want me to do this for right now. Like, they never work out. And it ain't that you don't want them to work out, or like, it ain't that you go there with the intention of trying to make it not work out. You do your best and it still don't work out. You sitting there saying to yourself, I wonder what God really want from me. I can't just work any other job. Like, I can't just work any job. I can't do what other people do with their life. I can't be involved in what other people can get involved in. It's like I was handpicked and then called off to the side and said, you'd be different. No, not just Christian different, but different. Like, here, you go the total other way. Here, I'm going to set you on over here. I want you to be a ghost in this world. Like I want you to be almost non-existent to everybody. And I'm going to set you aside for a time. And you got an appointed time when you do what you do. And while I set you aside, I'm going to work on you. And while I work on you, I want you to serve my kingdom. You know, when you handpicked for salvation, and it seemed like you just dead to a lot of people. But don't think it's strange, but a lot of people feel like they need you around for some odd reason. And they don't even know that. Like, it's almost like you go around people and you like a breath of fresh air to them. And that ain't to say that, like, you know, they ain't got other people in their life like that. It don't make you better than nobody. Heck, everybody else got more money than me. You know, everybody might drive a better car than me. Everybody might have a better place to live in than I do. So, you know what I'm saying? But you can't just focus on what other people focus on in life. Like, you really just can't. I can't dedicate my every waking hour to go to work to buy a car. I can't dedicate my every waking hour for entertainment and all of that other kind of stuff. It's like, God, get to me. He's like, you know you got a purpose. You know you got a purpose. Ooh, and that's the big thing. You become so purpose driven. And I'm not talking about Rick Warren here. But you become so purpose driven, and it's like nobody can really understand how anybody can be that way. Like, it's almost like you sound delusional to people. I mean, think about how delusional Noah sound when God chose him to build the ark. And he dedicated his every waking hour for that purpose. His wife probably ain't understand. I can imagine the kind of arguments they had every day. I want to go out on a date. No, we got to build this ark. Like, the world is about to be destroyed and you want to hang out? Kids, Daddy, why we got to work so hard every day? I'm tired. Well, that's too darn bad. I'm tired of digging holes. Man. Like, when you really sit down and think about it, man, you really start to put the pieces together. Like, you can't do what other people do. You can't, like, get away with what other people get away with. Like, me and one other Christian can both commit the same sin. I get punished hard, and they seem to get away with it. Not just get away with it, but get blessed. You like, now here it is, I get everything took from me. And you get everything in general. Like, that's... Okay. Alright. Because when God got a calling on your life, man, he mean it. Like, he really do mean it. And every day you so ate up with your mission. Every day you so ate up with your purpose. Just ate up. Nobody can really relate to it. They like, dude, come on. Just live like everybody else live. You can't. It don't work. In fact, it almost become depressing to live like everybody else live. Absolute depressing. Everybody just want a regular, comfortable life. I just want to be set. I just want to be comfortable. And you like, that sounds boring. Like, that sounds real boring. Like, you mean to tell me all you want to do with your one and only life is to be comfortable? That sucks. That freaking sucks. But people just aren't necessarily, I mean, not everybody's built the same. Right? Like, I know some people that work every day, all day, just because they want to grow more money in the bank. That's all you want is money in the bank. See, but to some people that sound like, yeah, that's what we supposed to do. But you thinking like all you want is money in the bank? Like, you do this all day, every day, just to see money grow in the bank. That sucks. See, but to some people, they think, but that's what being a man is about. Stack that paper. You like, paper? What good is paper? I mean, yeah, I know, like, it solves problems, right? It buys things. It takes care of kids. But it's like, man, it's got to be something more to life. I knew my whole life it had to be something more to why I'm here. I couldn't just fall in line like everybody else did. I couldn't get with the program. I still don't know how to get with the program, y'all. Here I am, 33 years old, and I still don't know how to live here in America. I still don't. I don't know how to play the game of American Dream. I've tried. I tried to play the game of the American Dream. I can't seem to get with the program, y'all. A 33-year-old man, and I'm still not getting the hang of life on earth. I'm still not. And it's for a reason, because I'm not from here. And I'm not staying here. I ain't from here, and I ain't staying here. You live your every waking hour as if you have no permanent place here. Everybody want to make a mark in this world and carve out a place for themselves. I want to carve out a place for myself in eternity. I serve the kingdom for my rewards in heaven. Everything I do with my life, it has to be something that's going to advance me in what God has picked me out to do. As many chosen one videos as y'all see out here, I really don't think people know what that is. I really just don't think people really know what that is. They don't know what kind of burden that is. I mean, they really don't understand, like, everybody say they a chosen one just because they a little different. Everybody say they a chosen one because they get views on YouTube. And y'all have no idea what y'all talking about. Absolutely none. Absolutely no idea what y'all even talking about. Oh, I'm chosen because my life sucks. It's like, shut up. Your life sucked because you suck. Just do something different. Stop being a prick and maybe you would have friends. Like, And not to mention, man, you can be a huge thorn in the side. Like, you could be a huge thorn in the side to a lot of people that's involved in false religion. You don't know how to get with the program of false religion. It's like you can just pick out what's not worth your time. Like, just doing church as usual is not worth my time. I ain't saying going to church ain't worth my time, but just playing the church game, I don't see how people can do that. Like, you don't want this Bible to be real to you. Like, we sit here, we preach about miracles, we read about miracles, and you don't want to do any? Like, I want to do that. I don't want to sit here and read about this. Like, what good is reading about it if I can't do it? Like, I might as well go read the X-Men comic. I ain't saying that, reading the Word of God is comparable to an X-Men comic, because you can still, heck, I mean, it's still beneficial to your soul. X-Men ain't. But ain't no sense in me being a Christian if I'm not gonna be the one who Jesus said that these signs shall follow those who believe. These signs shall follow those who believe. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is make sure that I'm one of the ones who it says believe. If these signs shall follow those who believe, then I need to be doing that to make my calling and election sure. First and foremost. But man, but everybody just want to, like, you don't understand how people can just hang out in Christianity. I'm just hanging out in Christianity. Yeah, I'm saved, but I don't want to do nothing with being saved. I just want to get saved and live my life. It's like you don't want to do anything with being saved. Like, saved for what? Well, to go to heaven, of course. But you don't want to do anything with the fact that you are saved. Faith without work is dead. I want to prove my faith by my work. I don't want to just say this. Why? Like, you start to think to yourself, like, I don't see how. I just don't get it. You know, I would much rather do nothing with being saved than to not be saved, right? But I don't want to do nothing with being saved. It's like your whole life is about being on some adventure. Your whole life is about being an adventure, on an adventure. A lot of people will grow resentment toward you because, like, your way of life is different than theirs. And it's like, in a lot of ways you understand, but like, you didn't make your life the way you did. God did it for a reason. It's a lot of hard work that come with this. Like, I can't just go to college and get the career I want. I can't just have any woman. I can't just have any friend, any job. It's like every day of my life I'm ate up with this mission, ate up with this calling, ate up with this purpose. What did God choose me for? Every day is about realizing that potential, and you ain't gonna get it all in a day. And sometimes you realize, okay, this was God's plan for my life. Then you get there and you realize, wait, that was just the plan that's leading me to the plan. And then you get there and you like, wait, that was just the plan that was leading me to the plan. Like, nothing you see in front of you is what God actually wants. Everything, like, every time you think this is what God wants, it's like, yeah, but that's to get you to what I want. And then, yeah, that's to get you to what I want. You have a really deep sense of how temporary this earth is. Nothing is permanent. Nothing. Nothing in your life is permanent. It's like you're a wandering nomad here on this planet. Like, just a wandering nomad. Everybody's got a place in this life. I don't. I'm X'd out of society. Just X'd out. In a way, you really can't wait for the end of the world. You can't wait to see this whole thing flip upside down, because you know what? God is going to really use you during that time. You can't wait to see it. Everybody tremble at the thought of economic collapse. Oh, I won't be able to pay my bills. Oh, I won't be able to have this. Oh, I won't be able to have this. You like, shut up and let's bring it on. I hate it here anyway. As many of the things as I think I love in my life, I don't love it that much. Not that much. And I can't sit here and say that there's things that I wouldn't hate to have to see go away. But at the end of the day, you already know, man. Like, this ain't nothing forever here, man. Nothing. Ain't nothing forever here except what I do for Christ. Nothing. Not one thing is forever except what I do for the Lord. Not one thing. Handpicked for salvation. Like, you feel like in some kind of ways, man, like you might have a much harder life than everybody else, a much harder judgment too. It seemed like everybody get away with skinning, grinning, and sinning, but you can't. Like, you get whooped right away. But it ain't like you want to anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it ain't sinning, all you gotta do is hop right out of, like, you know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is go off course. It's like your whole life come tumbling down, and God is like, this is not what I want. I don't want you doing this. And you're like, okay, I get it now. But sometimes it's so hard not to drift off course sometime when everybody around you is living a certain way. When everybody around you is focusing on certain things in their life. When everybody around you is just having a ball and you like, huh. And I ain't saying that you can't enjoy yourself sometime and yada, yada, yada. But when everybody live for the weekend and the cookout and the this and the that, and you like, oh, I got work to do. Oh, I got work to do. I got work to do, because you too aware. Like, you too aware that these things are all going to come crumbling down on us. And you need to work while it's day, because the night comes when no man work. A lot of people won't relate to a person like that. And people will only do nothing but stress themselves out trying to do it. Just trying to do it. A lot of people gonna regret losing you as a friend in life, because when God finally elevates you, when all that work you had to do finally come to something, a lot of people gonna regret how they treated you. A lot of people gonna regret what they said about you. A lot of people gonna regret taking advantage of you. And this ain't all about trying to showboat in front of people. Like, you just don't care about that. Like, none of that matters. Joseph was chosen. Joseph was did wrong by his own brothers. Sold into slavery. Like, he was taken away from his father's house and got sent to go work for Egypt, then ended up a slave. Then ended up in prison. And then all that time he spent in prison, all that time you spend seeming like you getting nowhere, you only had good intentions, and it brought about evil in your life. All the prophecies that God gave you in dreams are all starting to piece together one by one, one by one, by one by one. And every time you see all them prophecies that God gave you in dreams about the way your life is going to be, you can't do nothing but praise the Most High God, because you know he's real, real, real. And it's like, no, it ain't that you just now finding out, but like, he become more and more real to you the more and more you see exactly what he said would happen. And you like, okay, when is it my turn, Lord? Okay, when is it my turn, Lord? Pastors, prophets, evangelists, apostles, teachers. He chose you for one of those. Some of the most common that he wants are prophets. But like, for some odd reason, you can't understand all these so-called prophets. Everybody a prophet. And it make people like you feel like, I wonder if God was for real when he called me a prophet. Because I see so many prophets these days. Like, I wonder if they believe, like, I wonder if I'm just being just as delusional as they are. And so it make you not even talk to people about it. You hear people around you saying things like, oh, I want to meet a real prophet for real. And it almost brings tears to your eyes, because you like, what do you think a real prophet's supposed to be like? Like, what do you think that's supposed to look like? Now, I've been sitting around you all this time. Like, what do you need from a real prophet? Like, what do you want? What, like you need somebody to tell your fortune? Like, we don't do stuff like that. Like, we don't tell fortunes. No, we set records straight. That's what we do. And no, we ain't got some word from the Lord all day, every day. It don't work that way. I don't know what y'all thought a prophet is, but somebody that always got a new dream, a new word from the Lord. It's like, man, bro, get out of here with all that. Like, you don't know what this is, man. Just stop. Like, you involved in witchcraft somewhere. Like this ain't that. Like, we set records straight. We run things around here. But for a time, you got to be the one at everybody else's mercy. You got to be the one living at everybody else's mercy. And all God is doing is showing you what not to be when it's your turn. You see how you needed them and they treated you that way? When it's your turn, you better not be like that. The character that I had to build in you through all the suffering you went through, it's going to be real necessary. You might hate what you had to go through, but I'm building character in you. All that time Joseph spent in prison, God was working on his character. And even when you in down and out, even when you ain't got nothing, you still serving the Lord with both hands. Still serving the Lord with both hands. And God will always provide for what it is he wants you to do. What God wants you to do, he will be sure to provide for it. All you need to know is what it is, or at least what it look like. Just get on your knees and pray. You ain't got to get on your knees. Sit right here in your car and pray. Say, God, like, we're going to need this. Lord, we're going to need this. We're going to need this. And somehow I need the money. I already don't make enough money for that. But if you can somehow provide a way for me to make enough money just to get this, like, we're going to need that. We're going to need that. Man, you're going to look up and you're going to be like, God is good. Now, had I said I wanted a new house, yeah, oh man, might be waiting forever. But you got on your knees, you prayed about what it is you're gonna need for, like, you to serve your purpose in Christ the way that he want you to. He'd be quick to provide for that, quick to do that. And that ain't to say that he ain't quick to provide all your other needs. Like, here it is, you got nothing and you somehow eat every day. Like, you got nobody and you're never alone. Mostly alone, but not lonely. And, being chosen by God is not about being some loner. Like, for what? Chosen to be a loner. Like, that don't make sense. Everything God want to do involves the souls of men. Why be chosen by God just to sit there alone all the time? You are going to have to be involved with a lot of people. But you ain't a people person. Like, you ain't an introvert. You don't walk around just like, you don't feed off of the social activity like around others. Like in fact, that's draining. Like, some people can just talk to people all day long. I can't. I don't see how people can live like that. Like, you always on the phone talking to somebody. Like, that don't burden you. Like, that don't drag your energy away for I don't know what reason. Because everybody ain't made up the same. And everybody's life is not meant for the same thing. Like, that don't mean everybody's life is like nobody's life is insignificant. Nobody's. I don't care what small thing you do. Nobody is insignificant. The janitor is very important. Without you, everybody's office stink. You got to know how to serve too. Because if you don't know how to serve, you won't know how to lead. Because leading is all about serving. You're a military-minded kind of person because you know that everything about what the kingdom of God is doing here on earth is about spiritual warfare. The spiritual world is more real to you than the physical world. Everything is about a spirit. Everything is spiritual to you. Everything. And I ain't saying you spiritualize everything, but you see the spiritual reason and purpose for almost everything on this planet. You pick up on the satanic messages and movies and commercials and all this other stuff, and everybody like, yeah, that's a good movie. You ain't see what they trying to like promote in this movie. Like they trying to promote God hate in this movie, and you think this is a good show? Like this is nuts. Like you don't even like giving your money to stuff like that all the time. Like, yeah, it's like there's almost nothing you can go and watch these days without some kind of satanic message hidden in it. Like some kind of anti-image of God. Like you hate and despise that stuff. All you want to feed on are things that build your soul. If it ain't building my soul, I feel like I'm dying. Literally. All day, every day, you listen to the preaching of the word. Like you don't know how not to. That's your life source. That's everything to you. You won't tolerate anybody taking that from you. You won't tolerate anybody trying to drag you away from it. You gotta do it. Your time is limited here. Why not spend it mostly on feeding our soul? Why? Just to get to the judgment seat and wish you woulda? Not me. Not me. Sorry, not me. Everybody's a chosen one, but are you really? Or do you just like the sound of it? Because it's not easy, y'all. And I ain't claiming to be a chosen one like everybody always try and claim to be. But handpicked for salvation is a big deal. And it's hard because you just randomly turn into another person in front of everybody. They like, dude, you went nuts, didn't you? Like, no, I met the living God. I met the living God. I met the living God. I didn't go and find Christ. I wasn't even looking for him. It just hit me like that. Knocked me off my horse. Like, boom. Where'd you think you were going? Gotcha. And one of the things you hate the most in this world, false religion. I think I might have touched on that, but I gotta say that again. Jesus was here to confront false religion because false religion is sending so many people to hell, even false Christianity. Like it seemed like Christianity and church these days, and I don't mean Christianity as in real believing, but what people call it, I call it sociality. Some of us call it churchanity. It's just a bear, like it's like a bear trap to make sure nobody make it into the kingdom. Here, I give you a pretend kingdom so that way you never seek the kingdom because you think you got it already. And you can see how the devil is doing that to people. Here, I give you a pretend Christianity so that way you never really seek the Lord because you think you got it now. And I'll fill your life up with doing church and thinking this is about getting blessings and God making your life happy and giving you what you want and all of that other kind of stuff. It's like, this is so sad. The Spirit of God will start telling you stuff about people. If you if you really want to play games with your faith and all of that kind of stuff, if you want to keep a secret about how you play in church, then I'm sorry, you're going to meet somebody that know the Lord for real, and he going to tell you everything about him. And it ain't for you to go and walk around and drag their name through the mud and poke at them about it. It's just, yeah, like, you needed to know that about him, because I don't want you falling into a snare. I remember one day God told me, I was sitting in church one day listening to this preacher, and the Spirit of God kept saying, charlatan, charlatan, charlatan. And I'm like, I don't want to believe that about him. I don't want to think that. I started thinking it was my flesh talking to me, just trying to get me to be at variance with the things of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to think that about the man of God. Like this got to be my flesh trying to, like, just trying to get me to stir up some mess inside the house of God. Like, and you like, I don't want to think that. I don't want to think, like you start trying to tell your flesh to be quiet, but that's really God. Like, and you still learning his voice too. You like, bro, like, you can hear this. Like, you can hear this. But because you don't want to think that about them, you try and make it anything but the voice of God. Lo and behold, that was exactly true. You like, man, they had every characteristic of a charlatan. All you had to do is spend a little bit more time around them. He just didn't want you to start wasting your time and effort, dealing with people sometime. See, you don't see people for what they do. You see people for what they are. And what people are, see, like, you don't just know how people are, you know what people are. Because knowing how people are only tells you the past or the present. But knowing what people are will tell you your whole future with them. I know what you are. I know what you're liable to do if given the opportunity to. I don't just know what you've done. Like, what you've done, okay, fine, but I know what you are. That's different. The Spirit of God will tell you what somebody is, not how they are, what they are. Because you know personally that people are not always what they've done. Like, I might have gone mad and got angry, right? But I'm not an angry person. I'm a very level-headed, calm, cool, collective, take a whole lot to make me mad kind of person. Like, if you pee me off that bad, you have done it. You have done it now. You've done it now, haven't you? But what somebody is not always what they've done. So you don't bank on how somebody is, because you think about what they did. You like, oh yeah. Like, you know how many people think I'm a false prophet? And for some odd reason, I think God had it be that way for a reason. I don't walk around claiming to be a prophet at all. But for some odd reason, a lot of people call me a false prophet. Well, at least they can identify half of it. But false? Why? Because I'm not a gummy bear Christian like everybody. But why? Because I would look crazy if I had to for the sake of saving my soul. But why? Because everything in this life is expendable. You get in my way and my salvation with the living God, you're done. I can't play that. I can't have that. I don't care what nobody think about me. I gotta stay saved. Man, you will rub a lot of people the wrong way simply because you not like everybody. And because you ain't like everybody, it's like people don't know how to do anything but think the worst of you. And you like, I get it. Like, all you know is two categories of people. But there's another one. There's another category of person that you ain't considering. Somebody who ain't from here. Like, you judge me like you judge the kind of people of this world. That's your problem. I'm not of this world. So you looking at this wrong. I'm not like the preachers you see on TV. I'm not. And I'd rather die than to be that, because that sucks. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't walk around trying to boast and brag about none of that. All I'm trying to do is challenge y'all not to be that way. I say it because I'm challenging you to examine yourself and making sure you're not trying to be what you see on TV. And you need to be what you see in this Bible. That's it. Jehu, who gave Jezebel no mercy. Jehu gave Jezebel no mercy. No mercy for Jezebel. Throw her off a roof and let the dogs eat her and defecate her out in the street. Dang, that sounds evil. Sure is. If it's evil to evil people, it must be good. That's what I think. If an evil person thinking you evil, you must have done something right. If somebody being evil to you thinking you doing something evil, they must need it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't trying to say to walk around just being a stormtrooper or nothing like that, because you're a gentle person. Like, you really easy to get along with. Like, you just ain't that easy to relate to. You know what I'm saying? Like, your mind is on one track, tunnel vision. But yet you can still see the whole landscape. Like you don't sit around examining trees, you look at the whole forest. Okay, the whole forest is screwed up. Like, you looking at that one good tree, I'm looking at the whole story. Like, you understand things people don't. It's like you feel like you've been here before. I really do feel like I've been here before. I'm not lying to you. Like, I'm much older than I am. A lot of people really can't deceive you, but that don't mean you can't, play the fool. If I end up fooled, it's because I ignored discernment, because I tried not to seem like I was being what we would call judgmental. And then you get to that point and wish you had been. Wishing you had been more judgmental. And God is like, I tried to tell you. Now you know. It ain't just you being judgmental. It's me telling you the hard truth. And having discernment can tell you such hard truth that you just don't want to believe. You like, I don't want to think that about this. I don't want to think that about them. But hey, the truth is hard. A soul is dirty. A soul is a vast, nasty place sometime. And you need to start seeing stuff like that. Everybody ain't as clean as they dress. Everybody ain't as clean as they can cut their hair to look like. Everybody ain't as clean as that white tee they got on. And it's like you can see in people's souls, especially when you go on a fast and tell me. Like, it's like you can see through a person's soul. It's crazy. You could just see everything about a person, but you can't tell them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only tell them for a reason. Only for a reason can you tell somebody about themselves. And of course, like most people would deny it. You know what I'm saying? That's natural. And then everything you said is exactly what they did. You like, I told you. I told you. But God picked you out for a purpose, and it ain't going to be easy. You're going to have to go through the storm. Like, you just going to have to weather the storm, because that's where your character is made. And don't be too quick to want to be known by everybody. Stay hidden. I don't get that many views on my videos, and I don't care. I'm not putting on a show for people. I do this for God. Like those select few people he called. Heck, I'm glad thousands of people ain't watching my videos. What if I'm wrong somewhere? That's thousands of people I deceived. I'd rather deceive 5 than thousands. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't sitting up here trying to deceive nobody either. I don't talk about stuff unless I honestly believe I'm right. But the Bible also says that evil men and seducers will wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Most people who are deceiving you are deceived themselves. They really believe they lies. I don't think most people will tell you lies knowing they lying. Like, unless it's a lie that they can tell you for their own advantage. Most people telling you a false gospel honestly believe that's a real gospel. And that causes you to show mercy on people. Like, you're a very merciful person because you think about everything. Like, how would I feel if God dealt with me this way? Then you also got to think, would God let me get away with this? The last time I done something like this, I got punished hard. And you expect for me to let you get away with that? Everybody say, what would Jesus do? Okay, let me think about the last time I done something like this. What did Jesus do? Oh, I got everything took from me. You know what I'm saying? So, no, don't come to me with that what would Jesus do stuff. Because it ain't always gonna work out for your good. Or for your advantage, I mean. But all correction is for your good. All of it is. It just ain't all for your advantage. Because you having your way might lead you to the pit of hell. You know? But other than that, y'all, I'm out of here. I got to get to work. Peace.